What is the financial vortex? And trust me, you want to avoid it. How do you avoid it? I've got 3 ways. That and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Financially, we all go through a few different stages in life and transitions in life from one stage to another. And most of us will go through 7 of these life transitions. But in your situation, you might only go through 4 or 5 or 6, not sure. Many people will go through all 7. What are those 7? Well, we've done a lot of content on this before, so I'm just going to introduce them right now to get into this concept of the financial vortex and how you overcome it. First transition is post-education. So going from school to a career. Could be high school to a career, could be college to a career, could be graduate school to a career. But it's post-education. That's the first transition. Second transition is going from single to married or getting into a committed relationship. That's the second big transition. Third is becoming a parent. So going from being an adult to now caring for another person or having a child. Fourth is if you have that child, the fourth transition is that child is now at college and into college. And again, you might not, even if you have a child, they might not go to school, but that's a big financial transition. Fifth, you're then an empty nester. So I had a child that I was taking care of. They had a lot of expenses, and now they're financially self-sufficient. I no longer have to support them. I'm an empty nester. Sixth big transition is going from work to retirement. So from earning a paycheck to living off of your own resources and Social Security and other sources. And then lastly, the 7th transition is going from married to single again. Those are 7 life transitions, major life transitions that have big financial impact. You're not going to go through all of them. You might not. You might only go through a couple of those. You might say, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. But for many people, those will make up the big life transitions you'll experience. The big idea with financial planning is proactively being aware of those potential transitions and doing now, today, the hard work or the foundational work so that when you get to that life transition, that financial transition, it's not a shock and it doesn't throw you off course. You're prepared. Well, in some of our discussions that we've had as our advisors here and my co-hosts Josh Gregory, Kevin Korhorn on our weekly talk show, we've talked about these 7 transitions before, and we've debated. Well, is there one that's more crucial than the other? Is there one that's more difficult? And they were wrong. They were. Just kidding. We debated very fiercely, and I said the most challenging financial life transition is the becoming a parent. It's apparent to me, sorry, bad dad joke, but it's very clear that is a financially trying time, stressful time. Why? Because you're still trying to figure yourself out financially, and now you've got another human being that you need to figure out. Your different lives are converging right at that point. And unbeknownst to me, unaware, I saw this article recently where Goldman Sachs is actually calling this the financial vortex and saying that a lot of folks are dealing and grappling with the financial challenges right here, and it's impeding their progress. So here we go, the financial vortex. The oldest millennials, now approaching middle age, are facing a confluence of factors, Goldman dubs the financial vortex. A combination of student loan payments, credit card debt, childcare costs, home buying, caring for elderly parents or family members. It's all cutting into their potential retirement savings. Let me also add inflation. Let me also add car purchases. Let me also add, vacations and family experiences that they're trying to have with these young kids. And it's all converging and creating, and there's a lot of factors pulling at their resources, causing many people to think, I'm just trying to juggle today. I can't think or plan or set money aside for the future. So instead of getting caught up in the financial vortex, how do you overcome it? Well, I've got 3 ways you can do so. Fairly simple, but difficult. Simple meaning it's not going to surprise you, and yet difficult to pull off. Many people have a hard time doing this and get caught in the financial vortex. First, and I can't stress it enough, have a budget. have a budget and then stick with it, not stick to it. Oh, whatever you do, don't overspend. No, you're going to. There are going to be times when you're going to list out, hey, in order for everything to work, we're going to spend this much going out to eat. And there's going to be life experiences. There's going to be times when you're going to spend more than that. That's okay. But what I mean is stick to the discipline of having a budget. Update it, make adjustments, tweak it. I heard someone long ago actually going into or being a part of the great financial crisis, a pastor I heard say, managing your finances is like balancing a broom on the palm of your hand. Kids today, there's too much technology. You're never bored. But back in my day, when you were bored, I think I can balance this broom on my palm for a long period of time. You're always making adjustments. Okay, that's the word picture. And so having a budget is looking at how much money's coming in, what are the where's it going? What are the fixed monthly expenses? So whether, rain or shine, I've got to pay the mortgage, I've got to pay the car insurance, I've got to pay Netflix or whatever, those fixed, it's going to happen every single month and I know the exact amount. And then variable expenses. What are the variable expenses? So like going out to eat or grocery store or putting gas in the vehicles or whatever, right? What are those things that are going to be monthly expenses, but the amounts vary a little bit. And so building a budget to say, well, everything fits if it stays within this amount. And it might go a little bit over, but hopefully another area will be a little bit under and I can manage within it. So what is your budget? And building that out and sticking to that will help you in the financial vortex because a lot will be pulling at you. This is your way to organize. And this is your way to make your intangible financial life, everything's debit or credit or online or whatever. It's a way to get it all on one sheet of music where you can see what's actually happening, make it a little bit more tangible. Now, that budget is insufficient. A budget on its own doesn't help you reach your financial goals. In fact, it's not even a stable platform for your financial operating system. You need to have a 3 bank account system. And so anytime you hear me say budget, know that I'm actually talking about a 3 bank account system. So that first bank account is where you build out that monthly plan, all of your known monthly income, all of your known monthly expenses, okay? And hopefully you've got margin there, more income coming in than you have expenses, living below your means. Bucket number 2 is delayed expenses. So I said it a few times deliberately, monthly expenses. So bucket number 2 is, well, what are your non-monthly expenses? We all have them. Things that are financial obligations, some needs, and there's also some wants that come up, but they don't happen every single month. So the question with bucket number 2 is, well, are you going to be prepared when they do show up? When you take that vacation, when the car needs repaired, car needs service, when you need new tires on the vehicle, when it's Christmas, when it's your anniversary, are you prepared or not? And so here's the thing, financial vortex. You're taking care of kids, you're taking care of parents, you're doing vacations, you're doing, car payments, you're buying new vehicles, buying a house. So much of that, guys, is bucket number 2. Bucket number 2. The secret here is, were you aware? So did you proactively think ahead to say, yeah, we're going to need a new vehicle at this point, or kid's going to be turning 15 next year, and so what's the plan for the vehicle for them? Were you proactive, and were you setting money aside so that when those expenses came up, you were prepared? You've got to build out what are all of those non-monthly expenses that you see on the horizon, financially, what's it going to take to get there, divide that into a palatable number, so once a month, and then figure out, well, saving monthly towards this goal, does that fit now in bucket number 1? So between my income coming in and all of the monthly expenses, do I have enough discretionary income that I can save X amount over into bucket number 2 so when those expenses come up, I'm prepared? Difficult, yes. Possible, yes. You can do that. And then bucket number 3 is for all the expenses that you can't foresee. So if bucket number 1 is the monthly expenses, bucket number 2 is the non-monthly expenses, bucket number 3 is the I was not aware of that expense. That's your emergency fund. That's your, okay, I got a financial shock. I got a financial surprise. Something hit us out of the blue. You've got resources so it doesn't derail your financial life. If you don't have this in place, you're raiding credit cards, you're raiding your retirement accounts, you're asking other people, you're borrowing money somewhere else. And so having that third bank account, that emergency fund, it provides lubricant for everything else. It's a cash reserve so that it all can function properly. Second thing you need to do, this is going to be much quicker. Second thing you need to do to stay out of the financial vortex is connected with that 3 bank account system, and that is limit your debt. Debt is a fixed obligation. It's a fixed monthly obligation, so it reduces your flexibility in your monthly budget, which is going to put pressure on your ability to save up for upcoming expenses, non-monthly expenses, and put pressure on your ability to save up and prepare for those financial challenges, financial surprises, those emergencies. Therefore, limit your debt. That might limit some of the fun that you can have, or the type of house you buy, or the type of vehicle you buy. But knowing that when you take on debt, you're taking on an inflexible, immovable obligation in your cash flow, and that means you're less nimble when it comes to dealing with everything you're dealing with in this financial vortex. And then finally, automate your long-term savings and then don't deviate from it. It's going to feel the forces are going to be very strong in this financial vortex for you to say, if only we reduced how much we're saving to retirement, that would give us a little bit of flexibility. What I have seen is that is one of the biggest regrets that people have. While it might feel like a short-term pressure release, it ends up being one of the biggest regrets, and it's extremely difficult, if not, I've seen it impossible, where people then bring those savings back in. So setting up an automatic savings plan for your future, ideally contributing a certain percent to your 401k, set it and forget it, maybe doing an automatic savings into your Roth IRA and then not deviating from it, that will help you stay committed and stay preparing for those future financial transitions while you're in this financial vortex. Work with your certified financial planner. Those are just 3 ideas. There's more. When you look at all 6 areas of your financial life, the progress that you need to make, you don't want to take your eye off the ball, even when you're dealing in this financial vortex where so much of life is converging on you. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can find one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.